Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the Find Your Fit, navigating the school selection process for the 2026-2027 school year. This is our annual town hall, a time in which we connect with all of our families, our staff members, our community members to inform you about our annual school selection process. Before we begin the content of today's session, again, I want to welcome everyone. I ask that you please be patient as we support our non-English speaking participants. Our session will begin momentarily.
Se ofrece interpretación en español. Primer paso. Haga clic en Interpretación, como aparece en la figura 1 y elija Spanish, español. Paso 2. Haga clic en Mute Original Audio o silenciar el audio original para oír solo la traducción como se ve en la figura 2. Gracias.
您好，本次会议提供中文普通话翻译服务，请按照以下步骤进行操作。第一步，请点击 Interpretation 口译，然后在菜单中选择 Mandarin 或者 Chinese， 如图一所示。第二步，请点击 Mute Original Audio 静音原声即可收听口译员翻译，如图二所示。谢谢。
And do we have interpretation instructions for Russian?
Instructions. I will go ahead and interpret in Russian. Добрый день, всем спасибо, что присоединились к нам. Добро пожаловать на наш ежегодный форум по выбору школы на 2026-2027 учебный год. Это наше ежегодное собрание городского совета. Когда мы свяжемся с вами, пожалуйста, члены сообщения, пожалуйста, подождите, пока мы начнем нашу сессию. Добро пожаловать.
Okay, thank you for your patience. We will be recording a presentation today. Participants will be muted during the presentation. Please place any questions you may have during the presentation in the Q&A box at the bottom of the screen.
Мы будем записывать нашу презентацию сегодня. Во время презентации микрофоны участников будут отключены. Пожалуйста, задавайте любые вопросы, которые возникнут у вас во время презентации в разделе «Вопросы и ответы».
So now we will have today's agenda. We will start by giving an introduction to the school selection process. We will define the process. We will look at our participating schools. We will look at who can participate in the school selection process. We will review key changes for this year's process. Then we will spend some time reviewing the school selection timeline. We will look at the school selection application process. We will review eligibility and appeals. Our individualized review team members will review the individualized review process. We will then look at the lottery and leave you with resources for our families. So beginning with introduction to school selection. The school selection process allows students that are currently in pre-kindergarten through 11th grade to apply to any Philadelphia School District school that has available space that is outside of their neighborhood or catchment area for the 2026-2027 school year. The process to enroll at a student's catchment school is separate from the school selection process, and it is available to students all year round. A catchment school is a school that connects to a family's home address. So to enroll in the catchment school, we ask that you visit the School District of Philadelphia's website.
Процесс отбора школ позволяет учащимся обучения с домашнего возраста до 11 класс подать заявку на поступление в любую школу Филадельфского школьного округа, имеющую свободное место, не придается району или району обслуживания на 2026-2027 учебный год. Процесс зачисления в школу обслуживание отдельного от процесса отбора школ и доступен всем участникам круглый год. Школа будет обслуживание – это школа, которая привязана к домашнему адресу семьи. Хотите записаться в школу обслуживания, посетите этот веб-сайт.
The school selection process uses a centralized lottery and waitlist system. For criteria-based schools, it includes school-specific grades, attendance, and assessments, as well as some additional requirements for some of our criteria-based schools. The school selection process requires an online application, which is available in languages other than English. Please know that this application does not include charter, parochial, or private schools. Our participating schools in the school selection process includes catchment schools, citywide schools, and criteria-based schools. Our catchment schools are neighborhood schools that have space for students that live outside of their catchment area. Schools may have specialized programs. Our citywide schools are schools that are open to the entire city and have specialized programs. Our criteria-based schools are schools that are designed to provide challenging academic curriculum or programs. Some criteria-based schools have further specialization. Examples given are arts and STEM programs. Who can participate in school selection? Any resident of the city of Philadelphia who is seeking to attend a School District of Philadelphia school is eligible to participate in the school selection process. Students who live outside of the boundaries of the city of Philadelphia may participate. However, residents of Philadelphia are given priority. Non-resident students may not be admitted to any school or academic program where their enrollment would displace a resident student. This is found in School District Policy 202, non-resident students. Non-resident students who attend the School District of Philadelphia must pay tuition. Non-residents, however, may not attend Parkway Center City, Parkway Northwest, or Parkway West. Let's review some of the key changes for the 26-27 school year. In addition to the PSSA, the approved standardized assessment list will only include the following assessments: the Terra Nova, the ERB CTP, and state standardized assessments from other states. Because this list has changed, this will be a transition year. Thus, any of the previously approved assessments will be accepted for the 2024 results. Examples are a valid CAT, ERB ISEE, the Iowa assessment, or SSAT assessment dated 2024, in addition to the approved assessments on the updated fall 2025 list. For assessments dated 2025, only the standardized assessments on the updated fall 2025 list will be accepted. These are the Terra Nova, the ERB CTP, and other state standardized assessments. Our other key change is to our zip code preference, which has been updated to include the following zip codes: 19121, 19132, 19133, 19135, 19136, and 19140. Also this year, we have a new career and technical education preference. This preference is given to middle school students who currently attends a district middle school CTE program and is applying to a CTE program for the 26-27 school year. And then we have updated or expanded our sibling preference to include siblings and twins that are applying to the same catchment or citywide school. We will give you more detail about our zip code preference, CTE preference, and sibling twin preference in just a few moments. So let's look at our school selection timeline. Our timeline for this year's school selection process begins this upcoming Monday, September 8th at 4 p.m. when our application opens. Again, our application opens on Monday, September 8th at 4 p.m. In the months of September through October, we will host application labs for students and families. We will also have office hours for counselors and school staff. Our application will close on Thursday, October 23rd at 11:59 p.m. This is also when our appeal window will open. Through the months of November and December, you can expect to receive preliminary eligibility, as well as our appeal window will close. In the months of December and January, we will hold our individualized reviews. Schools will also hold their auditions and project-based presentations. January through February, final eligibility will be released. We will hold our lottery. We will have offers. We will make our offers and have acceptances, and our waitlist offers will be released. Let's look at our school selection application process. Again, our school selection application opens on Monday, September 8th, starting at 4 p.m. Students may apply to up to 5 schools or programs beginning September 8th at 4 p.m. All student information that is required to confirm an applicant's qualifications for admission to a school must be in the application system by Thursday, October 23rd at 11:59 p.m. Applications cannot be submitted after 11:59 p.m. on Thursday, October 23rd. As a reminder, students should use this process to apply to schools other than their catchment schools. Students should not use this application to apply to their catchment school. Please make sure you are adding your questions to the Q&A in the box at the bottom of the screen, as staff will respond to your questions. So what should you expect when applying in school selection? Available data for district students will automatically be added to their school selection application. Information that is pre-populated cannot be edited by the applicant. These pre-populated fields will display with a green highlight with a verified label. This includes student demographic information and parent-guardian information, all available academic data and PSSA data for the 2023-24 school year and the 24-25 school year. This also includes student status as a student with a current IEP, a current 504 plan or 504 eligibility, or if they are currently receiving L services. Academic data and PSSA data will only appear in applications for students that are applying to at least one criteria-based school. For our assessment data, applications for criteria-based schools require 1 English language arts or reading and 1 mathematics standardized assessment score from the 2024 and 2025 calendar years. The applicant's highest English language arts or reading percentile score and the highest mathematics percentile score from the 2024 and 2025 calendar years will be used to determine eligibility. Only approved standardized assessments taken on or after July 1st, 2024 will be accepted. Documentation is required to verify all provided scores. Uploaded assessment reports must be clear, legible, and complete digital copies that show the student's full name, the date tested, the grade level tested, the English language arts reading scores and/or percentiles, and the mathematics score and/or percentile. For applications where there is missing academic or assessment data, this relates to a student who is not enrolled in the School District of Philadelphia for one of the 2 previous years or did not participate in the PSSA, then the academic and/or assessment data for that year will not pre-populate. Any missing grade, attendance, and approved standardized assessment data must be manually entered into the school selection application. Students who provide missing academic data must upload the district's common transcript form. Students who provide missing assessment data must upload corresponding score reports. For all students applying to criteria-based schools, failure to include all academic data, this includes grades, attendance, transcripts, and approved standardized assessment score reports, may result in an incomplete application which may be marked ineligible.
Erica, you're on mute.
For all students applying to criteria-based schools, failure to include all academic data, that includes grades, attendance, transcripts, and approved standardized assessment score reports, may result in an incomplete application which may be marked ineligible and may not be included in any evaluation processes for criteria-based schools. So our common transcript form is for current district students and students applying from non-district schools that may be missing academic data due to attending a non-district school in one or both of the previous 2 school years. These students must manually enter academic data into their application. This data must be verified using the district's common transcript form. The form must be completed and signed by a counselor or administrator from the previous or current school. Both pages of the completed form must be uploaded to the application. Report cards, transcripts, and progress reports from non-district schools are not a substitute for the common transcript form. Failure to include all required academic data, again, this is grades, attendance, and standardized assessment scores, in the required format may result in an incomplete application, which may be marked ineligible if applying to criteria-based schools. Here, you will see a copy of the common transcript form that may be found and is available now on our school selection website. These are the 2 pages that are required to be completed, signed by a counselor or school administrator, and uploaded to the school selection application system. For our homeschooled families, here are the required documents for your school selection application. Applications from homeschooled students should not include the common transcript form unless it is signed by an external evaluator. Homeschooled applicants must include their end-of-year progress report or other documentation as evidence of the applicant's completion of their homeschooling program. Acceptable documentation includes, but is not limited to, an affidavit of the home education program, an evaluation of the home education program. Note that this is not the annual homeschooling evaluation certification review that is submitted to the district for approval. Acceptable documentation includes a common transcript form that is signed by an external homeschooling partner or affiliate, for instance, a homeschooling co-op. This cannot be signed by the parent. A homeschooling quarterly report is an acceptable form of documentation. Also note that any PA homeschooled or private school student can request to take the PSSA at their local public school if desired. So when applying to schools, students must select a minimum of one school or program, but may apply to as many as 5 schools or programs. Your schools or programs must be ranked in your true order of preference. So the school that is placed number 1 should be you or your child's first choice of school or program. The school that is placed as number 2 should be you or your child's second choice of school or program. The school that is placed as number 3 should be you or your child's third choice of school or program. Your number 4 school should be your child's fourth choice of school or program. And school number 5 should be you or your child's fifth choice of school or program. Applicants may update their selections and their ranking at any time during the application window. Just please remember to resubmit your application after making any edits to the application. When completing the application, you will see a progress bar that will appear at the top of the application. Sections of the application that an applicant has already completed will appear in dark blue. The section that the applicant is currently working on will appear in light blue. And those sections that still need to be completed will appear in gray. An example of this is shown here on the screen. Additional sections may be added to an application based on information provided. So for example, for students that are applying to criteria-based schools, they will see an academic data section. They will see a standardized assessment section. They will also see an education accommodation section added to their application. For students that are applying to citywide or catchment schools, you will have a sibling section added to your application. Also, the application contains required and optional fields. Required fields contain a red asterisk that is next to the name of the field. Applicants will not be able to move ahead to the next section of an application until all required fields in the current section have been completed. Updates made to an application will be auto-saved as an applicant completes their application. Again, please make sure that you submit your application before the October 23rd at 11:59 p.m. deadline to participate in the school selection process. So let's take a moment to look at eligibility and appeals. For our criteria-based schools, applicants who meet the criteria or are determined to be eligible through an individualized review are entered into a lottery, and those selected through the lottery are given an opportunity to attend our criteria-based schools. For our citywide schools, all students are eligible for the lottery, and offers are made based on available space. For our catchment schools, all students are eligible for the lottery. And again, offers are made based on available space. For our criteria-based schools, criteria-based middle and high schools have criteria that must be met in order to be included in the lottery for admission. The criteria includes grades for English, math, science, and social studies, the number of unexcused absences, the approved standardized assessment scores, and some schools have additional requirements, such as auditions or project-based presentations, and Masterman High School has an Algebra 1 requirement. Our criteria-based schools will use grades as part of their admissions criteria for those applying for the 26-27 school year. The best grades from the 4 core subjects of English, math, science, and social studies across the previous 2 years, 23-24 and the 24-25 school years, are used. All students must have a letter grade for English or a letter grade for both reading and writing. If all 4 core subjects do not have at least 1 letter grade for at least 1 academic year, the student will be marked ineligible for the lottery for all criteria-based schools. If only 1 year of grades are available, those grades will be used as the student's best grades. So here is an example of how the best grades are determined. The standards range from all A's and B's to all A's, B's, and C's depending on the school. So here you will see a student's record where they received an A in English Language Arts for the 23-24 school year and a D for the 24-25 school year. The best letter grade is the A, so the A is used for the criteria. Another example is in math. The student received a C for the 23-24 year and a B for the 24-25 year. So the best grade was a B, and that is what is used for the criteria. The best grades do not all have to be in the same year. We take the best grade from each of the previous 2 years for each of the 4 core subject areas. When looking at attendance, criteria-based schools will use attendance records as part of the admissions criteria for those applying for the 26-27 school year. Attendance criteria for all schools is 9 or fewer unexcused absences for schools that have a 95% requirement and 18 or fewer unexcused absences for schools that have a 90% requirement. Excused absences are not included. Eligibility is determined by the best attendance record from the previous 2 years, 23-24 and 24-25. If only 1 year of attendance is available, that attendance will be used as the student's best attendance record. So let's look at another example, this time looking at attendance. This student has 9 unexcused absences in the 23-24 school year and 10 unexcused absences in the 24-25 school year. The best attendance record is 9 in the 23-24 school year. So that is the attendance that will be used to determine eligibility. You can see here that again, excused absences do not count towards the attendance record for eligibility in a criteria-based school. We are only looking at unexcused absences. With standardized assessments, criteria-based schools will use standardized assessment scores as part of the admissions criteria for those applying to the 26-27 school year. The applicant's highest English Language Arts or reading and highest mathematics score across the previous 2 years will be used to determine eligibility. So we are looking at the 2024 and 2025 calendar years. Standardized assessment scores are not required for applications to the 11th and 12th grades at criteria-based schools. The standardized assessments used for admission criteria are PSSA ELA and PSSA Math. Philadelphia district and charter school students may not opt out of the PSSA if they plan to apply to criteria-based schools. Students who were not enrolled in the Philadelphia district or charter schools during the PSSA testing windows in spring 2024 or spring 2025 and or did not have the opportunity to take the PSSA can submit results from the approved standardized assessments on the updated fall 2025 list. These include the Terra Nova for reading and mathematics, the ERB, which is the Educational Records Bureau Comprehensive Testing Program for reading comprehension and mathematics 1 and 2, or a state standardized assessment for a state other than Pennsylvania. And we are looking for the ELA and math performance levels. Because the approved standardized assessment list for the fall 2025 has changed, this will be a transition year. Any of the previously approved assessments will be accepted for 2024 results. So again, this would be a valid CAT, ERB, ISEE, Iowa, or SSAT assessment dated 2024, in addition to the approved assessments on the updated fall 2025 list. For assessments dated 2025, only the standardized assessments on the updated fall 2025 list will be accepted. Let's take a second to look at our appeals. The district provides parents with an opportunity to appeal a school selection ineligible decision that is a result of missing documents that provided grades, attendance, and standardized assessments. Parents who wish to submit an appeal can do so through the district's two-way communication platform, Let's Talk, using the topic School Selection Appeals. Providing the missing documentation does not guarantee eligibility. Now, I will turn it over to the members of our individualized review team who will review our individualized review process. Just as a reminder, please place your questions in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen, and a member of our team, school selection team, will answer you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Megan Smith, and I am part of the team who provides individualized reviews for students receiving 504 services. What is an individualized review? An individualized review determines if a student can be successful in the general education program given reasonable accommodations and supports at the criteria-based school. The individualized review process is also the appeal process for students with IEPs, 504 plans, and designated EL students who are applying to criteria-based schools. The individualized review process does not guarantee eligibility. If a student is determined to be eligible, they are then placed in the lottery. Eligibility decisions will be made before the lottery runs for all students. Who are the members of the individualized review teams? The individualized review teams consist of experts from the Office of Diverse Learners. That is the team who will review students with IEPs. Experts from the Office of Multilingual Curriculum and Programs. They provide reviews for students who are English learners and who are also what we consider dual identified. So that is a student who is an English learner, but may also have an IEP, or an English learner who may also have a 504 plan. Experts from the Office of Prevention and Intervention will provide the reviews for students with 504 plans. Each of these teams also works with staff members from the criteria-based schools who can provide their lens of expertise within the review process. So which students receive an individualized review? Any student who has been identified as having a disability that has a current IEP, having a current 504 plan or current 504 eligibility, or is identified as an English learner. In addition to those, students will receive an individualized review if it is a student who is applying to the entry grade of one or more criteria-based middle or high school programs during the school selection process, and the student meets 2 of the 3 criteria for the schools to which they applied and has requested to waive the 1 criteria that they do not meet. And a student must not be eligible, meaning they do not meet all 3 criteria for any criteria-based high school to which they are applying. So who is not eligible for an individualized review? Students ineligible for individualized reviews include students who do not apply to any criteria-based schools, students who do not request to waive 1 criteria, students who selected to waive the wrong criteria, students who are eligible for at least 1 of the criteria-based schools that they applied to, students who did not submit the required supporting documentation, and students who need to waive more than 1 of the 3 eligibility criteria. The individualized review process, during the review, the individualized review team looks at the student as a whole. They review the IEP, the 504 plan, and the EL supports that the schools can provide. They also review the student's required IEP, 504, or EL supports and their demonstrated academic growth. The team is looking to see if the student can be successful in the selective academic program that they are applying to. The individualized review team determines whether students are eligible for the lottery or for the audition's project-based presentations. What are some of the reasons that a student may be found non-eligible after receiving an individualized review? A student who has received an individualized review may be non-eligible for a program for the following reasons. One, the criteria-based school or program cannot be modified to meet the applicant's educational needs without fundamentally altering the nature of the school's program or activity. Two, the student's application did not contain the necessary supporting documentation. And three, the school facility does not have the support necessary for the student to safely access the school building. Who provides support for the application and individualized review process? Families should contact their school counselor if they need support with the application process. The school-based support team consists of, but is not limited to, the school principal or their designee, the school counselor, the special education compliance manager, and the EL point. Additional support with the individualized review process can be obtained through communicating with or contacting the individualized review committee with any questions you may have. They can be reached at individualizedreview@philasd.org or through the Let's Talk application system found on the school selection website.
Thank you, Megan. We'll take a few moments to review the lottery, and then we will move into sharing the family resources that we have available to all of you. Again, as a reminder, please include your questions in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen, and a member of the school selection team is available and will answer your questions. So when looking at the lottery, each eligible applicant will receive either one offer or 0 offers during the initial response phase. Offers will be made based on the order in which an applicant ranked their 5 schools, the applicant's eligibility, and the seats available at the school or program. Applicants will remain on the wait list only for higher ranked schools to which they did not receive an offer, and accept multiple higher offers as they come. For example, and we'll look at this in detail in just a few moments, but if a student ranked 5 schools and received an offer to their 3rd ranked school, they will remain on the wait list for their 1st and 2nd ranked schools, but will be automatically declined for a seat at their 4th and 5th ranked schools. If they subsequently receive a waitlist offer for their 2nd choice, they can accept that offer, which would automatically decline the original offer at their 3rd choice, but also allow them to remain on the wait list for their 1st choice. They could later accept a seat at their 1st choice if offered. So there are a couple of different priorities that our lottery uses. The first is the zip code preference. This prioritizes the applications of qualified applicants who live in specific zip codes that have the lowest representation of students accepting offers over the last 4 years. This preference is applied to the following criteria-based schools: the Academy at Palumbo for admission to 9th grade, Carver Engineering and Science for admission to 7th and 9th grades, Central High School for admission to 9th grade, and Masterman for admission to 5th and 9th grades. Zip code preference is given to eligible applicants that live in the following zip codes: 19121, 19132, 19133, 19135, 19136, and 19140. New this year, we have a career and technical education middle school preference, also known as the CTE preference. Our CTE preference is given to middle school students who attended 7th grade or currently attends 8th grade at a district middle school CTE program and is applying to a similar 9th grade CTE program for the 26-27 school year. For example, students that participated in a 7th or 8th grade plumbing CTE program, and that is in a middle school, would receive priority when applying to a 9th grade plumbing CTE program. The list of approved programs can not only be found in this presentation, which you will have access to, but also may be found on our school selection website. This year, we have updated our sibling preference. So as in previous years, sibling preference is given to students who have a sibling that is currently enrolled in a catchment or citywide school when space is available. To be eligible for sibling preference, siblings must have the same parent or guardian, have participated in the school selection process by submitting an application, and have selected the school where a sibling is already enrolled. Sibling preference does not apply to criteria-based schools. New this year, sibling preference has been expanded to include not only siblings, but twins that are applying to the same catchment or citywide school. To be eligible for our expanded sibling or twin preference, siblings must have the same parent or guardian. They must participate in the school selection process by submitting an application, and they must have matching selected and ranked schools. Sibling or twin preference is not guaranteed and is offered when space is available. And again, sibling and twin preference does not apply to criteria-based schools. So let's look at that lottery scenario that we just went over a few moments ago. Let's say we have a student that selected 5 schools and they are eligible for all the schools that they applied to. So in the application, they will see their choice number 1, their choice number 2, number 3, 4, and 5, with all of them being eligible. Students are eligible for all the schools that they applied to, and let's say they are initially offered their 3rd choice. So after the initial offer, the student's application will show the following. Choice number 1 and choice number 2, they are on the wait list. Choice number 3 will show that they were offered. Choice number 4 will show they were not offered and they were not on the wait list because it was a lower choice than offered choice. And the same is with choice number 5. It was not offered and they are not on the wait list because these are lower choices than the offered choice. So essentially, a student receives an offer at choice number 3. They remain on the wait list for choice 1 and 2, and choice 4 and 5 go away. They are not on the wait list and they do not receive an offer. Now, let's say that the student is eligible for all schools they applied to. They receive an offer for choice number 3, and let's say they accept offer to choice number 3. Again, this is after the initial offers are made. A student will see that for choice number 1 and choice number 2, they are on the wait list. Choice number 3 will show that it was offered and accepted. Choice number 4, again, not offered and not on a wait list because that is a lower choice than their offered choice. And the same is with choice number 5. They are not offered and not on a wait list because this is a lower choice than the offered choice. Now, let's move to our wait list offers. Still going with the same scenario. The student was originally offered and they accepted their 3rd choice during the initial offer phase. However, during the waitlist phase, let's say they receive a waitlist offer from their 2nd choice, and they decide to accept that waitlist offer from choice number 2. If that happens, for choice number 1, the student remains on the wait list. You will see that choice number 2 is now offered and accepted. Choice number 3 now becomes declined because choice number 2 was accepted. And then choice number 4 and choice number 5 remain not offered and not on the wait list a lower choice, it's a lower choice than the offered choice. So essentially, students have the opportunity to move up the ladder until they are matched with their highest choice that is possible, based on the space that is available at the school. In line with that, with the same scenario, if the student then receives a waitlist offer from their first choice, they can accept that offer. And the application will show that their choice number 1 was offered and accepted. Choice number 2 was then declined because a higher choice was accepted. Again, choice number 3 has gone away and is declined because a higher choice was accepted. And choice number 4 and 5 was not offered, not on the wait list, because it's a lower choice than the offered choice. My apologies. So let us end today's session with reviewing the family resources that are available to all of you. The first resource is our school selection website, which we encourage everyone to bookmark or to continue to visit, as this will have updates to our school selection process. On our school selection website, which is found at schoolselect.philasd.org, you will find frequently asked questions. You will find updates to our timeline. You will find information about our criteria and the participating schools, as well as other steppers, videos, and information that will help guide you through the school selection process. Another resource that is available to you is our Explore page, which is found either by going to the School District of Philadelphia's website and looking at Find My School, or you can go directly there by going to philasd.explore.avella.org. There you will be able to research schools and find the information about all of our schools that are participating in the school selection process. Through our Avella Explore page, you will be able to find not only information about the school's criteria, but you will also find information about the school's programs, their extracurricular programs, their clubs, information about transportation, looking at the distance of schools from your home and how to take public transit to the school. All of that information can be found on our Explore page. We have several emails that are available to you should you have questions regarding the school selection process. So all general questions concerning our policies and procedures for school selection may be emailed to schoolselect@philasd.org. If you have questions regarding our standardized assessments, you may email these questions to schoolselecttest@philasd.org. And then for technical issues, if you have questions concerning getting in and logging into the application, or for our district families, if you have questions regarding the parent portal, you may email familytechsupport@philasd.org. Again, we want to encourage families to contact members of the school selection team using the district's two-way communication platform, Let's Talk, by visiting the school selection website and select Contact Us. Also, as resources, we have town halls. Thank you for participating in today's virtual town hall. This will be posted on the school selection website, but we also invite you to join us at our in-person town hall that will be held tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. We will be at the Science Leadership Academy Middle School. And so you can join us at that time. Members of our school selection team will be available to offer this same presentation in person, and we will be available to answer your questions. Again, that's tomorrow, September 4th, from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at Science Leadership Academy Middle School. We also will be providing application assistance labs. This is where families can participate in an information session and receive direct support with your application from members of the school selection team. We will begin these labs on September 9th and hold them 1 to 2 times a week through October 21st. You may visit our school selection website for the schedule. And I will also share the schedule here. So as you can see, we will be traveling to schools across the city to support families in starting or completing their school selection application. This schedule will be posted on the school selection website. I also want to draw your attention to the K-12 school fair that will be held on Saturday, September 20th at 10 a.m. Members of our school selection team will be present to again support families with their application. But this is also a time to visit the booths of many of our schools that will be participating in the school selection process. So you can come and visit the tables of the schools, get hands-on information about the school and some of the programs that they offer, meet some of our wonderful school leaders, school staff, and students from those schools. And this information will hopefully guide your decision in participating and selecting schools and programs in our school selection process and school selection application. Again, through email, you may contact members of the school selection team using the district's two-way communication platform by visiting the School Select website and select Contact Us. You may also visit the school selection website. Here we have the website for the 2025 K-12 school fair. We also encourage you to visit our post-secondary readiness website that highlights the programs of our high schools in the city. This concludes our town hall. Again, if you have any questions, I hope that you were able to share them in our Q&A box. If there were any questions that were missed or anything that comes to mind after this town hall is over, feel free to email them to us at our school selection email. I hope you found the information that you needed, and we look forward to receiving your application in our 2025 school selection process. Thank you again for your participation, and we hope you have a great day.